and you're back with me, Fazeela Isaac, on the mid-morning talk on Salam Media. Don't forget, engage with us on our social media pages, our Facebook, our WhatsApp message. We're waiting to hear from you. So now we hit our hit list, and our hit list is where we pay homage to people who are doing great work in the country or in the world as a whole. And today we have powerhouse Anisa Mazimpaka. Anisa is a multi award winning social justice activist, and she's also a former student leader as well. Right now, she's actually in the process of starting her own foundation, which advocates for social justice, which is everything that encompasses who she is. Anisa also just graduated for the third time, mashallah, and she's certainly a force to be reckoned with. Assalamu alaikum, Anisa, and welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam and shukran and thank you for having me.
Only a pleasure. So let's, we were speaking about the fact that, you do a lot of activism work. You are always out there. You always have a topic of discussion, something that you need to challenge, something that you need to enlighten us on. And I thought, what better way to celebrate you than to actually get to know who the person is behind all of this activism. Who is Anisa Mazimpaka? So we want to know about your childhood. How did you grow up? Who was Anisa growing up as a young girl? Oh, I think we're having a bit of trouble hearing you. Anisa? I think we cannot hear you. I think it's either yeah, can you try speaking now? Maybe we'll try and hear you better. Okay, we're still struggling to hear you. Can you mute and then unmute one more time, please? Okay, let's give it a try now. We're still struggling to hear you. The volume button, perhaps? Okay, I think we have a little bit of, it's probably a connectivity issue. We all know the bad news that load shedding is back. So, we have a little bit issue with that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take a short ad break while we try to get the technical difficulties sorted. We'll be right back with Anisa Mazimpaka. Ooh.
Tupondolayo yiza imithandazo yethu Nkosi sikelela thina lusapalayo Morena boloka sishaba sayeso Ofedi serintwale matswenyeho Usibolo Sibolo sichaba saiso kosi sigele tina wasapolayo die blauw van ons hemel uit die diepte van ons ziel, waar ons eeuwige gebergtes, waar die kranse antwoord gee. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa. Our land, Kosi sigele, tina wasapolayo. اللهم باسط الأرض ورافع السماء سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله عدد خلقه.
O Allah, you are the provider of the earth
and you have elevated the heavens. Where there is unity, there is always victory. We are one ummah, one body, one South Africa. Rabbi Allah, Rabbi Allah, Malik al-Mulk, Rabbi Allah, Rabbi Allah, Rabbi Allah, Hasbunallah, Rabbi Allah, Rabbi Allah, Hasbunallah, Malik al-Mulk, Rabbi Allah. You are my Lord, my guiding light. Through my days and nights, I'm calling you.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لوحدي أو كيف السبيل.
Humanity sets the agenda.
Welcome back. It's 11:39 and you are listening to the mid-morning talk on Salam Media. So we are speaking to Anisa Mazimpaka, who's our Hitlist guest for today. She's a winning and award-winning social justice activist. So we have load shedding. So load shedding kind of does these things in the country. So we now have Anisa over telephone with us. Assalamu alaikum, Anisa.
Walaikum salam.
All right, so we were speaking about you growing up. Who was Anisa as a child? Give us some background into you.
Well, I think it's pretty much me as I am right now, just a little bit not so active. But I grew up as a very shy child. I'm the third born, or the last born out of two other sisters, so we are three sisters in total. Yeah.
So tell us more about your activism journey. Why did you choose to be in this particular space?
So I think the problems and the struggles that we face as a country is one that we all need to tackle. And I think in high school, I formed part of what is called the Representative Council of the RCL, or prefect. And they basically advocated for almost the same thing, but just on a smaller scale. So when I got to varsity, my activism actually intensified. When I joined what is called the South African Student Congress, that actually turns 31 years in this very month. So when I joined SASCO, and I later formed part of the SRC in 2014 as well as 2015, and moving over to 2016 when I was the interim SRC president, I think what baffled me was to see that a lot of time, not to say that I had things easy for me, but it is to say that there are some things that we need to recognize as being privileged, that most people don't necessarily have. So it was me dealing with that aspect, but also when you're in the SRC or when you're part of a student movement, you get to interact with people from different walks of life, whether they are in the upper strata of the class, within society, or the lowest of it, or whatever races they come from. You get to see the struggles of people and the lived realities each and every day. So from then onward, I knew I had a duty, not just as a Muslim, but also as a person that exists in society holistically, to kind of form part of advocating for this voice, of equity for people, trying to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
So, Anisa, as a student leader, I know you had a 2-year suspension, or suspended expulsion, should I say, from UJ for being one of the leaders for the Fees Must Fall campaign that you guys ran. So, what is one thing? Of course, these are not things that you preempt happening, right? So, what was one thing that you wish you had known when you actually began this particular activism that you're doing right now?
Wow. I wish I had known that, fighting or advocating for equity, for justice is not just one time thing. It's not a seasonal thing. It grows on you. So it's something that almost becomes second nature, if not first. I wish I was told, when we start these, and I said I was part of EFCO, and I think it's part of the competitive nature of politics in general, but if I were to say student politics in particular, where there's a certain animosity between the different student structures. So as you progress in this, you realize that you are actually fighting on the same team, so to speak, just under different banners. And I think most of our student activism, and I think most of the student activism or student leaders actually go through this, where they see the other parties as sort of an enemy. So I wish I was told earlier that these are our brothers and sisters in arms fighting on the same struggle against the common enemy. However, we did grow into that, and we realized that we are fighting for the same cause, so we were able to unite at a later stage.
Oh, okay. So, everybody, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, there's always influences that we look to. It can be people in our families, people we surround ourselves with, even sometimes it's people we don't know, but we try to emulate, or who influence us into being the people that we are. Who are some of the people who have influenced you?
My direct influence are my parents. My background, and just to give you a short background, is my parents came to South Africa, in 1994 from, fleeing the 1994 Rwandan genocide. And that was one of the darkest histories or darkest times in histories for Africa. And I think them just maintaining calmness, maintaining positivity, even after they had experienced such a thing, and them maintaining and still wanting the best life for us, and them not changing their attitude towards that, and them just wanting, the best for their children, and doing it, not regretting anything, unapologetically so. That is my direct, those are the direct people that I look up to. And also just the second element, I think in the words of Mamweni Mandela, who said that I am a product of the masses of my people. So I think everything and everyone around me then becomes influential as to, how we move. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
Absolutely. You've actually answered it exceptionally. All right. So, Anisa, it must be hectic going through all of the things that you do and maintaining that work-life balance. So, what does a typical workday look like for you? And how are you actually able to do that, to create and maintain that work-life balance?
Right. So I work in the office of the MNC in the city of Johannesburg. That is the MNC for Development Planning. MNC being a member of the mayoral committee. And these MNCs, or political heads rather, they have certain regions that they focus on, besides the departments that they are, the dedicated departments that they head. The typical in my life, these offices are so hectic because when the days are good, they're good. When the days are bad, they're bad. So most of my work, when I was in the city, required us to literally travel across Joburg. I think I know Joburg at the back of my hand now, because you go out to the communities where the NMC addresses, community issues, has community engagement. People or the department or the specialties that the department deals with, you have to make sure that it is up to scratch. You have to make sure that everybody on the ground, your stakeholders and everything is in place. So a typical day would either be from 8 to 5 p.m., 8 to 9 p.m., 9 to 1 p.m., 9 to 10 o'clock. Like I said, when the days are good, they're good, and when they're bad, they're bad. And, me not just, having one aspect. It wouldn't just be city work. It would just also be other engagements when I'm done with work. And that is where the 9 p.m., 10 p.m. come from, where we need to deliberate, on other issues. And one thing that I have ensured was that I leave some time out to myself, to my family, as well as my friends, because I think I got so busy at one point. And literally, I got complaints to be like, we haven't seen you in such a long time. Like, where are you? So I knew, have to make time for everyone else that was around, to just remind me that it's not just about, work. It's also very important to keep some time aside for yourself, for your own mental well-being, in order to function moving forward.
100%. Because, of course, for you to be the powerhouse that you are, you have to take care of yourself first before you can actually take care of the next person. So, Anisa, we're just going to take a quick ad break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Online schooling? Why not? Kurtuba Online Academy is the leading global online Islamic school from grade R to matric, offering South African caps and international syllabus. And it doesn't stop there. We also offer online madrasa for every grade. For more information, visit www.kurtubaonline.co.za. Kurtuba Online Academy, the leading global online Islamic school.
Decades of war, devastating drought, and economic collapse have pushed the Afghan people to the edge of survival. 24 million need life-saving aid, and 5 million children are knocking on famine's door. The world cannot just watch as this terrible crisis unfolds. With your support, the Al Imdad Foundation is delivering emergency relief to the Afghan people. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
With so many investment options today, it's only natural that you might feel a little confused which route to take. Should I buy shares or should I invest in gold bullion? Randery Jewelers now brings you the Zahab coin, an alternative to the Kruger Rand. The Zahab coin, a solid wealth protector in its purest form of 24-karat gold, is the safest way to protect your wealth. So don't just sit there and watch your paper money depreciate. Change to gold. Call Randery Jewelers now at 031 202 4701 or visit www.rjcoin.co.za, situated at 151 Essenwood Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Over 33 million people have been affected by the devastating floods in Pakistan. Homes have been destroyed, crops have been swept away, and roads have been damaged. Families are mourning their loved ones while trying to survive these horrific conditions. Penny Appeal is on the ground now, delivering food, shelter, medical supplies, and water to those in need. You can help save a life by donating today. Visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
You see, Mr. President, my personal philosophy is that of social justice through education. And it is through social justice, through education, that will tell you that these issues that we face today are systematic injustices. But how do we move forward in doing this? President, this month is of great importance as it signifies the struggles of those who came before us and what they went through. The likes of Tsietsi Mashinini and his cohort, But what I find fundamentally aggravating as a youth in this manner is that we celebrate our fallen heroes of 1976. But I won't lie, as millennials, we celebrate this, but we discovered a few years ago our generational mission, our generational mandate, as Fanon said, was that of fees to fall. We did that, we took to the streets, but we met the generation of 1976 in the streets, and they shot at us.
Wow. Powerful, powerful words from Anisa Mazimpaka as she continuously spreads the message that social justice through education is important. That was our Hitlist guest for today, Anisa Mazimpaka. That was her sharing a table at the panel with the president of South Africa at the pre-SONA Youth Dialogue. Anisa, you are doing phenomenal, phenomenal work. So at that time, how did you feel being able to be on that panel with the president and voicing your thoughts and the struggles that people are going through?
Well, whilst you're playing that too, I'm like, okay, wait, where is this? Where was I? And then I think I recognized, a couple of sentences there. Well, at the time, so firstly, the message that I took was not just from me, but it was from people on the ground, fellow student leaders, other people on the ground. So delivering that message really was to say that, we've addressed these issues. And I think one thing about me is whenever you talk to me, I don't think a sentence would be complete or a conversation would be complete. Don't hear the word social justice, if you don't hear the word justice, if you don't hear the word black, if you don't hear the word systematic, institutional, apartheid, colonization, slavery, and. So I think, addressing the president, it was an honor, firstly. However, it was a truth that I, was delegated to speak. It was a truth that I could not hold back because this was everything that I stand for, and it was the feeling and the mood on the ground. And as I was saying just a bit earlier, we had spoken to people from management level, from vice chancellors, from head of departments, students, workers, cleaners, CEOs, and so adding the president or addressing the president's voice or sharing the table with the president was just, that cherry on the top to say, listen, President, we've spoken to all of these people, and you are the last person that we are now telling this to as the person that sits in the highest office in this country. And I think I did take that opportunity to also request for him, to release those students who had been in jails and in prisons because of their participation in seasons.
Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. See, it just cut off a little bit. That is fine. That must have been one of the greatest achievements, being able to go right onto the top, because realistically it is the president who calls the shots at the end of the day. So it must have been a great achievement for you to be able to actually speak to him on a one-on-one, or not one-on-one, well, face-to-face basis, where he can actually hear the voices of those who want to be heard. That was really, really, really fantastic. What are like, we spoke about things that we do know about you. Tell us one thing that people actually don't know about you.
Well, I've been trying to search for that response, hey, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like my life is so out there, hey. I don't know if saying that I'm an introvert would qualify as a response to that question. Because most of the time people think that I am just an extrovert, I'm just out there, and but I'm really a shy person. I'm really such an introvert, if you to talk to me and to interact with me. But yeah.
I would think being an introvert is actually your passion that would drive you into going into a public platform and actually speak on this. Ignore the fact that you're not being out there is not exactly who you are, but your passion drives you in order for you to go there. Alhamdulillah, that is really great. So tell us, what is the future like for you in terms of your goals and the initiatives that you run? What does the future look like for Anisa Mazimpaka?
Honestly speaking, my ideal life would be me just, sitting back and having what I call a quiet life. Where I'm able to walk or continue my life as usual without being bothered by what is happening out there. And unfortunately, this includes the injustices and. However, unfortunately, we exist in a system that actually makes it impossible for you to ignore these kind of stuff. But I think what I'm looking forward to doing right now is actually establishing my foundation that is long overdue. COVID threw us all a bit, and I was supposed to establish it back then. But right now, I think one of my goals is to actually get that up and running so that whatever work that we do, lives beyond who we are, but carries the same message. And yeah, that is basically what I'm looking to doing.
Well, Anisa, I wish you everything of the best. And I hope everything, all of your objectives that you hope to achieve, everything comes into play for you, everything comes into fruition for you, because you are most certainly doing the work that needs to be done. Alhamdulillah. Um, I want to congratulate you for actually taking the stand, taking that voice of yours. And I know there's one thing that you speak on, and you believe that it's time for young people to rise to the occasion, to position South Africa as a country to be reckoned with. And I couldn't put it any better myself. Jazakallah so much for taking the time to join us today, Anisa.
Jazakallah so much, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Wow, that was our Hitler's guest for today, Anisa Mazimpaka. If there's anything that you can take away from this, is that you're never too young, you're never too quiet, to have your voice heard. There are many platforms for you to have your voice heard. Come out there and speak on things that matter. You don't need to be a public speaker for you to voice your opinion. Find ways in order for you to assist and help and make sure that you come out and say, you know what is right is right. Fight for something, right? And, we've heard the saying, you need to stand up for something or you will fall for everything. So that was Anisa Mazimpaka. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with Shaheda Adams from Islamic Care Line. Stay tuned.